I'm just going to check the stores. It's been a couple of days since I've been up, but I just want to have a smell to make sure all is what I think it hopefully is, or as it seems. Come on in. So the first thing I do when I come in is have a good sniff, because you can smell a problem way before you can see it. So David, tell me, why do you store like this? I thought you just have them in a heap. We used to have them just in a heap, but if you get a problem, you get a big problem. So we invested in boxes 20 years ago. Lot back. It's a lot of work, a lot of investment up front, but we like it. It's flexible. So there's a pair of boxes for each green bag, and under the green bag is a gap. That gap is linked to the fan house. So this is under the green sausage. It's basically a void. Can't quite see, it's quite dark. So this is where the negative pressure is. And then I'll just spin the pan round. It's getting sucked from the fans here, there. Get drawn in, pumped up to the top with pressure. So when the fans kick in, it draws the air through the crop to the fans, pressurising the air, making a plus pressure in this void. And because there's a negative pressure under the bag, it wants to get back to that negative, so it goes through the crop. Works really well. It's called an Aspire type system. Yeah, it's been good. The beauty of it is it's very positive. You get a very even disruption, Sorry, the fans are on, so it's really noisy. But this is all the Sagita I've got left. They have one gas, so they're keeping really well. I'm quite happy with it. So I'm on the top of shed 2. I'm just going to make my way across. Smells nice in here. But all these sheds are due to be gassed again now, so I've got to monitor for the chits, because I don't want to put it on too early, but equally I don't want to be too late. So I'm just going to I'm just looking for some green tubers, because they're normally 2 weeks ahead of the general mass here. Oh, this is interesting. So there's quite a few of these. I mean, it looks funny smelling them, but can't put that into words. It's not nice, but the smell gives a lot away. So they don't smell like a blackleg. A blackleg rot is just, well, once you smell them, you'll never forget them. That's quite placid as a smell goes. But these rots, when you squeeze it and it goops water, they're ones to keep an eye on. But this is dehydrating or mummifying. So they're going to be, by the time they go over the grader in probably a month or 2, they won't sort of explode and make everything else wet. So I'm also looking for condensation. The top of the store where it meets the cold outside air with a warm crop, because these are like 8 degrees. When you've had some cold nights, you can get atmospheric condensation, and you only need a 1.5 degree difference to make that wet layer. And I don't want a wet layer, because that sort of is the start of a whole new chain of events. So these roof fans are in here to help mitigate that. So these are really, really mucky when they came in, and it's all dry now. It's the beauty of this store. You can really power dry, and I've got things in mind I'm going to do for next year to make it even faster. I'm looking in that bit there to see if the eye's open, and it's not. The greener potatoes would normally open their eyes sooner, so if I see a green one, they're always a good indication, because they normally chit 2 weeks well, at least 2 weeks before a normal tuber would. These are the eyes, these are the bits what chuck the spritz out. Pretty good. And sometimes the soil can prevent the gas getting to the eyes, which is a bit risky in these sort of years. But hopefully with all this clay cracking, it'll be just enough gap, hopefully, to get the gas in there. That's a damaged one. It's nicely healed up. So these are Marquee. These are a good long-term storer, so they're quite unwilling to throw the shoots anyway, which is good. But they're doing really well. Oh, my hands are going to smell forever. But see how it's drying up. So this row here hasn't been gassed, and just going to show you. That's the chit. But considering they've only had, well, nothing apart from MH in the field, they're doing really well. These will be the first to go, so I'm not too concerned. Yeah, the fans have just kicked on, just as I thought I'd show you some whoppers. I hold it like a fisherman. No, actually, generally, the Marquee are a bigger sample, and they are generally more susceptible to rot. Bigger they are, more incidences you get of internal breakdown. But actually, I'm really pleased because there's a lot of problems this year in storage. This is one of my test ones. I leave this on the top to make sure it's not weeping. Smells just like the other one. So these have been gassed once with DMN. And I'm looking for condensation, and I know there is some trouble spots. I've had the fans going. I'm a bit shocked actually. There should be some fans going now, and there's not. So I'll have to check that when I get downstairs. Right, let's have a dig down. So I'm just walking on tippy toes around these boxes because I don't like to stand on them. Just thought I'd show you how more susceptible these big ones are. That's fairly typical. You can see that. But I prefer the big ones because it's easier to sell a big potato than it is a little one in our job. Again, these are drying out. They smell just like next door, so it's the same sort of breakdown. But this is a really big sample in here, so this would be more risky than anything else. A little bit of condensation here. This is what I'm looking for. You see they're wet, or a glimmer of wet. So I'll aim that fan this way more. I've got it aimed there because that's normally a bit more susceptible to this condensation. Yeah, keeping really well, chuffed. So I just thought I'd show you the sensors because you may be interested. So I have a lead going to the control room, comes down the top, and then I have a little bit of reflective cheapy tape. So when this box is removed, the 10 boxes removed, the tape's obvious, and then we know there's a sensor to pull out before we tear it off with a forklift, because these they are buried. Just get down here. And these are buried down into the box, normally as deep as I can get them. Not a lot to look at. It's just a simple sensor. There's probably 14 of them in this one store, and then you can get an average for the computer to work out what the air needs to be conditioned to. So these corridor lights, these go off when they switch downstairs, and then it'll be total darkness in here. Tasers go green with light, so darker the better. That's all pretty good, 7.9 degrees. It's averaging that. There's no abnormalities. Yeah, all good, happy with that. Yeah, so that's a standard routine check I like to do every day. Probably twice a day when we're harvesting, because things are changing very quick and you've got a lot of potential to get things right or wrong at that window. But now it's just a case of maintaining the temperatures and making sure you're not getting any problems.